Welcome you. We are from Charasat University and we are from Depstar. We have gathered here for a meeting like we have a practical project work in which the subject is software engineering and we have to take interview questions from a software engineer person who can answer the roles, what is the subject and its usage in our day-to-day life, how to implement it in our project, in our group projects, and how we can overcome the things in that. Okay, so now we will be asking you some questions.
Yeah, glad to hear. Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
yes, our first question is that what is software engineering according to you?
Yeah, so basically, let me start with introduction first. So, hello everyone. I think almost all of you are knowing me. I am Om Soni. I am software engineer at Mastercard, graduated from DTU. Apart from that, I am competitive programmer and I am also into the AI research. So, coming back to the question, that what is software engineering? So, let's start with engineering first. So, engineering in my understanding is in solving any problem systematically. So everyone solves problems in the world. Every product is a based on the problem solving. Software engineering is all about solving problems digitally. I mean, uh, any redundant work, any redundant human work that is being replaced by softwares. For example, we are gathering over here in Zoom. If Zoom or Google Meet, anything was not there, the softwares are not there, then we would have to gather at any place like Nadiad, Anand, Ahmedabad, or Vadodara. So this software saves us cost, saves our time, and gives a flexibility. So it is all about solving problems with digital solution. Softwares are scalable, which is, I mean, the difference between mostly software engineering and other engineering which involves hardware is software evolves over the time, but software does not degrade over the time. So if you pick any hardware material, that will degrade over the time, any machine that will degrade over the time. But softwares are virtual, so that they do not degrade over the time. So in my understanding, software engineering is solving any problem with a digital solution, which which is scalable, which saves human effort, which automates a lot of stuff. In If I give the second example, that would be the Google Maps. Third example would be the UPI. So that using softwares, if we are so much engaged with softwares in our day-to-day life that we are not able to realize that okay, we are getting this much benefit. Even for booking a taxi or any bus or flight ticket, we are every day using software. So software engineering is all about crafting those digital solution which enhances day-to-day human experience.
Okay, now what is your role in your company as a software engineer?
So basically, as a software engineer, usually I am particularly involved in the lot of backend stuff. So in software engineering, there are three kind of applications that software engineers usually develop. One is the Android app, I mean Android or iOS, that is a mobile device application. The second one is web application, and third one is desktop application. I mean your laptop or desktop application. So these are the three types of application, and usually all three types of application have different UI. I mean mobile screen is small, a laptop screen is large, and tablet screen are semi large. So every application requires a different kind of UI. But at the core, if you see the back end, that's the front end. If you see the back end, that is usually the common between all of the applications. So if you are using any software like LinkedIn from your phone or from your web or from your desktop, uh, backend and the database is almost every time is same. And for that, I am into majorly interested and currently into the backend developer role. So there are two types of role, front end and back end, and I'm majorly into the back end. We are fintech, so usually we process the payments, and yeah, we do a lot of stuff on Java, Spring, basically almost all those backend multi-threading, database, and all those stuff. So that's our day-to-day practice to deal with database and Java applications. Yep.
Suppose you are a team leader in a project, and if your team has different approaches, then how would you convince them?
I would go with numbers. So basically, if, for example, if someone says, for example, if we are working on a product and there are two ways, there are two libraries to have some feature. For example, if I have to integrate a, for example, if I am making a product and I am a team lead and I have to integrate payment, I mean, whether it is Stripe or it is any Bharat Pay or Google Pay, any interface I have to include so that users can pay from my website or from my product, then there are multiple ways, right? So what I would do is I would say which is the most effective one in numbers, which is the most scalable one in numbers, which is the most cost effective in numbers, which is the most sustainable in numbers. So how up to how, I mean, if I use any normal library which is not reliable, which is open source, then I may end up with if some situation comes where there is a high traffic and application goes down due to that library, then I am responsible as a team lead that why I have chosen that one. So usually tech companies, big, specifically multinational companies and tech giants usually take decisions, data driven decisions. So we don't go on the person's personal choices. We usually rely on data, we rely on numbers. So it's number is a very nice way to judge any decision. So if there are two approaches, we will go for sure with the numbers, which numbers are showcasing what.
Okay, if we approach you as a client with our project, then what are your terms and conditions for the project?
I'm not getting the question.
Like if we are approaching you, we want a project to be designed by you, and then
Hmm.
things are to be provided from our side to get the project fulfilled.
Yeah, so basically, if you are the client and I am the tech lead, right? You are trying to say that one, that I am providing
Yes,
service and you are the client and you are
yes,
giving a project to me.
yes.
Okay. So first of all, I would understand a basic requirement that first of all, I would get the business insights. For example, you are coming with an application which serves, which, for example, let's take an hypothetical example that you are developing a Rapido or Ola kind of app, Uber kind of app, but for city bus. Uh, that is a major problem. Is usually cost effective in terms of economically, but their time and their schedule are not that much digitally. I mean, they do not have cutting edge technology like Rapido and Ola and Uber has, right? But they are cost effective. So, for example, if you are coming with kind of problem example, I would get first business insight that what is the requirement, how many number of daily users or monthly users we are expecting, uh, what is how the user interface would look like, what is the deadline that we want to end up with, and how many years of, I mean, if after getting all those things clear, like business insight, product insight, and all those things, tech is our internal, client may not interfere in that, but that we have to internally decide. But all those domain knowledge, for example, in this case, smart city bus case, so what should be, uh, as I already told, that number of users and how many number of users we are expecting, that will give us an insight which technology we should choose, because the users are very much, then we need to have a scalable system that will help me to understand what will be the architecture. Okay, then I will ask that how will be the format of the application. In this case, it would be Android or iOS app, right? And mostly it would be Android app. No one will look for the city bus in the laptops. So the kind of insights I will gather first. Then we will prepare a document which is called SRS, Software Requirement or System Requirement Specification, and this is a SLA between that. So what is the number of latency? For example, the client says that, I mean, you says that I want a response in every time 500 millisecond or 1 second. If that is a SLA, service level agreement between you and me. So if the latency of the request, I mean the user sends the request and our software has a delay more than 1 second, then you will charge a penalty on me because our software does not work based on our SRS and based on our SLA. On SRS, that we will have a mutual agreement where your sign will be there, my sign will be there. So client and the service provider, there is a mutual agreement between. Once this phase is done, we will start designing a product, and then we will choose what will be the architecture. Based on that, we will first of all we will do the low level high level design, that which data we need to store first of all. And second thing would be, I mean, this is the database design. Second thing would be how our architecture will look like. I mean, how many number of services will be there. For example, I am going on microservices based architecture or monolith based architecture. How many entities are there in our system? Are there any? Uh, it will be always the. Uh, I mean, it will always the our backend application and front end will be deployed at somewhere else. I mean, we will deploy it cloud or not. Which backend technology we will be using? Which front end technology we will be using? And the most crucial thing is audits. So you are doing any kind of legal software application, it will involve audits. And audit means it could be government audit, it could be audit by client. So we need to store all of our day-to-day software data in some warehouse or somewhere else. So I will think that as well. So it involves all the phases, like from product insights, gaining from the client, from designing, from agreement between client and the service provider. Then comes what is the expected delivery, which is the third part. The fourth part comes high level design architecture. The fifth part is low level design, and the last part is development. Development itself has those software development life cycle and CI/CD and whatnot. So this is the whole life cycle of uh, product which I can think of.
Yeah, that was great. So now for the 23DC093, Pushpak Patel will be asking further questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us about your background and experience in software engineering?
Yeah. So basically, you want my experience or uh, my experience at different companies, or starting from my college, what has learned or not? I mean, I want just you to elaborate the question in some more better way. You want to focus on which part? I mean, the technology part or my experience starting from the first company to the Mastercard?
Experience.
Yes. So basically, I started my engineering at 2020, and I was already we were already start the DDIT. I was in DTU Nadiad, and DDIT already has a curriculum that in every semester you have one project. So development was there from semester one only. Till semester four, I did not have any internship, but I was into competitive coding a much more deeper way. So I was 5-star at Code Chef and expert at Code Forces, which made my profile stronger. And one recruiter reached out to me that, hey, I have this openings. Do you want to apply? Then that was a startup, basically, a US and Ahmedabad based startup. I applied, and basically by the time I already had made some projects, like Instagram clone, YouTube clone, CodeChef clone, and some other creative projects as well, like WhatsApp kind of messenger as well. I have developed, so I already had some good exposure over it. And in fourth semester, means in the second year, a recruiter came out like this. We had one quick meeting, resume shortlisting, then one quick meeting, then it was an interview, and then after a week, they come up with an offer. So this was a startup internship. I was a backend developer then, a Node.js backend intern. I started at, it was a hotel management system. I started my journey there. So from back only, because I am majorly interested in development. Then in 1 month, they like my performance. They gave me incentive, and then the next only as an intern, I was leading a team, a small team, which was related to some data processing system, data migration system. So we built a system from scratch. This was an internship experience of second year summer, and then again third year started. I signed up from the internship. Then Mastercard came into the picture. Mastercard came for campus placements. I got selected at Mastercard, and at Mastercard again, I was a backend developer. We had a team. One of my colleague was a front end developer. I was a backend developer working on the Spring, again on the data migration only. So earlier I was working on Node.js. Now I was working on, basically this is of 2023 summer I am talking about at Mastercard. We were working on Java Spring Boot based application. It involved a lot of multi-threading, Oracle SQL, stored procedure, and a lot of technical stuff. That was a nice experience, which gave me the insight that Node.js and MERN stack is not the only tech stack which I need to learn, but there are other, and Java is the most highest paying job along with Python. But as of now, Java is the highest paying job in the industry, in the software industry, which I realized at Mastercard. I realized a lot more that Mastercard is a very nice company. Basically, I got exposure a lot, not only on the technical stuff, but also on the communication. That I was not good like this I am today as in communication. I got courage, I got leadership skills, I got communication skills, soft skills there. And my manager was very good. I mean, until Mastercard, before Mastercard, I was so introvert. But when it was the last day of my internship at Mastercard, my manager told me that you just go back. You don't need to be leader to lead. You just go back into the college and start leading, and rest is the history. I started leading the DDU, lot of clubs. I was president, and I organized a lot of events, sessions. I organized, and uh, yeah, and that helped me. Now we can see from DDU there are so many students who are getting placed at Mastercard, at Amazon, at Google, and they are thanking that, thank you for your contribution. Your guidance was very helpful. So yeah, that's the priceless experience from Mastercard. I got a lot of skills, and again I got the pre-placement offer at Mastercard. So back after the internship, I did one more internship, two more internship, then two research paper, and again back to the Mastercard after my graduation. And now I am pretty much again a backend developer only, but I have much more exposure to the technology, the backend stuff, the multi-threading, the monitoring. I know a lot of stuff related to DevOps as well now, CI/CD, software engineering, and I mean, yeah, that's all about the exposure which I can see. And one more thing, I had core interest in the data structure algorithms and competitive programming contest. But usually you see in the software engineering, if you are entry level, then a lot of stuff is given to you. I mean, the tech lead will do all those analysis, all those stuff, and you most of the time you have to do low level implementation only. But I found my interest there. So whenever there is a defect or whenever there is a problem in a software, uh, I find my core interest, like I was used to solve lead code problems. I find my core interest in solving those defect. Defect means a problem in the software and we have to solve it. We have to quickly resolve it. That's our priority. And now I can see myself progressing there. Apart from that, lot of fintech knowledge, lot of domain knowledge, how payment methods work, what are credit card, debit card, how the internal processing is going on. Lot of stuff to learn and lot of stuff I have already learned. So yeah, that was pretty much all about myself. But throughout this journey, I also understand that not only the development is enough, but the decent amount of testing, writing a readable code, writing a sustainable solution, writing a with deep analysis. You have to prove, you need to have a proof for each and every line of code you write. So yeah, that's equally important.
What motivated you to pursue a career in software engineering?
Um, Basically, I started with computer engineering, but I could have a lot of opportunity apart from computer engineering. I mean, my interests are basically maths and physics. But when I ended up doing my 12th, found my core interest in problem solving. And if you are a software engineer, your day-to-day job is only problem solving. For example, the this request. For example, if you are doing transaction with Google Pay, which is taking 1 second to process, Google Pay may be thinking of that. Let's try to do this in 500 millisecond or 100 millisecond. Why not? So this is all about solving a problem, which is having or optimizing a solution or solving a problem, which gives me a kick. For example, you are trying to solve a problem at code versus or lead code. Whenever it is giving you accepted answer, it gives you kick. Similarly, whenever you are trying to solve a problem at industry, that was lead code and code forces are just a virtual environment that accepted does not matter to other world, right? But now if I am working at some startup or if I am working at MNCs, my change of line reflects at many places. If I am solving a bug, it it saves so and so time and so servers of my company. That's very important for me. That's very important from the end users. So you see, right, you are getting opportunities to solve a lot more bigger problem in the software engineering, not just small lead code and code forces problem, but using your data structure and algorithms knowledge, you are able to solve a big problems, which with which almost all half of the world is getting impacted. You see the growth of the company and all those. So your every single line of code matters a lot, and that's basically if that problem solving was the first one, and second one is making an impact. So whatever I am doing over here or at any company, whether it is making impact or not, and most quick way and most wide way to make an impact is software, because it is scalable. And that's why I'm into software engineering, which I believe.
What tools you use in your company?
I usually use, I would say the most common and most openly available tools, basically IntelliJ IDEA for writing a Java code, Spring Boot, again for the backend system. The other use day-to-day tools like you have hardware like headphones, laptops, and external monitors, desk, and whatnot. But some internal tools I would not expose for sure, but some open source tools like we use Jenkins for CI/CD. We do production monitoring. We write logs so that we can monitor a problem if there are any. And yeah, that's what all which I am allowed to say.
Can you share of example of project where your specific software engineering practice is significantly contributing its success?
Sure. So whenever I was in, I mentioned a couple of internship, right? So whenever I was first intern at one startup. At that point of time, we had to. There was a hotel managed system, and whenever user changes his or her room, you need to show an arrow in that chart that this user has gone from room A1 to B2. I need to showcase that line, and at that point of time, that is a trivial example. If you look at the code, it's not trivial, and we are fetching a lot of JSON data from the database, and then you are about to map one room to another. There I used a hash map. Simply one hash map I used there. I mean, you know the data structure, right? So from hash map, I mapped the old room to this new room for this particular user, and using that, I sent the data back to the front end, and then we displayed the data. The second one is I was leading a coding community in DDU. We had one event and we shortlisted few candidates. So there was hundreds of candidates, and we are about to shortlist few of them. I mean, we are about to declare a winner, top three winner from the competition. And so our core members were deciding that okay, let's do this. You pick 10 members, you pick 10 members, you pick 10 members, and every community will pick 10 members. We will sort in the descending order, and I said that that's not the right way to do that. I written one. We took that. I took that Excel file. Let me. I asked my friends that keep a hold on this one. Give me 10 minutes. I have written one program. I loaded that Excel into the CSV, loaded into the Python in the memory. I sorted them in the descending order, and we declared the winner. So the problem which could consume 1 hour from our basically core committee, which was done in the 5-10 minutes of coding. That's the second example. There are plenty of examples which I can give, but these two are the most effective one.
Thanks. Now 23DC090 Om Patel will ask further questions.
Hello, sir.
The
My
same
name is
name.
Om Patel.
Hello, I am also.
Sir, my first question is, what challenges do you face when implementing engineering practice in your projects?
Yeah, so challenges, I would say trade-off basically. So you guys might be aware of design patterns. Uh, I mean, software engineering has their own practice, and we must follow the software engineering practice. For example, consider a scenario where you are writing your projects, and I'm sure you all have done at least one project in your career in your college, and I'm sure that you have never done unit test or integration test on your project. So you may be using Postman, or you may be using your UI to test whether your web application is working or not, right? Am I correct or not? But this is not the approach which we follow at the industry. So at industry, we every day lots of thousands of lakhs of lines is being shipped into the production, and you cannot go and test every time at some. So you need to do automated testing. So software engineering principle is one is automated testing. Second one is document whatever you code. There are plenty of other practices, like you write code in this way, you write code in that way, you use switch case instead of if else, you use this strategy pattern, you use this builder pattern and whatnot, which comes with overhead. If you are writing unit test, if you are writing integration test, it saves a lot of time for you to testing. Testing is just an example of software engineering principles. But at the same time, if you are writing a new line of code, or if you are changing a one line of code, it will mandate you to change the test case as well. It will mandate you to write a new test case or modify the existing test case. But that is the overhead. That is the challenge. Second thing, whenever you are saying that this is the best practice to do that, but it is very difficult for another developer to read. That is the second thing, that there is a best practice, best coding practice versus readability of the code versus performance of the code. So if something is the best practice, but it is not giving us a performance, I would choose performance first as a tech lead. Or if it is giving the same performance, then I would choose readability apart from the practice, because performance is greater or equals to readability is greater than the practice. So we break practice many of the times because we want a performance. At the end of the day, product goal is to performance only. So yeah, that's there are many challenges we face, but these are some standard example which I could give.
How do you overcome these challenges? Can you share any strategies?
Yeah, so basically, as I already told, right, we go with performance first. Okay, it depends on priority. So if we have some large amount of time, then we will go with the long-term solution. We go with the practice first. If we have very small amount of time, then we will go with the hot fix first. So what will be quick for the developer? For example, I have to deliver this feature in the 15 days. I mean the 2 weeks. Then I will go with the what is the quickest approach to do that. We will do that first. We will not look at practice for sure. And then once the feature is delivered, now we will improvise it using best practice. What best we each I can do. Okay. Sometimes if I don't have time to write the unit test, or sometimes if I don't have a time to test the particular feature, I will manually test it. I will go and fire a postman request, and I will test it whether the request response is coming first or not. We will deliver the feature, and then we will afterwards we will follow those practices which we were left for. So it depends on the priority. If my priority is highest, then I will go with the delivery first. If my priority is low, I mean the deadline is far, then I will go with the practice first.
How can we improve our code stability and implementations?
Implementation, I would say, to practice data structure algorithms, to practice at least do appear at few contests. that improves your implementation, because contest has time limits like 1 hour, 2 hour, 1.5 hour, like 16 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes. You have a time pressure. You can feel that tension of submitting a solution that requires you, that enhances you, that pushes your limit, that you are continuously pushing your limits. So that's one way of improving implementation and debugging while doing competitive coding and data structure algorithm. Second one is making projects. I would say there are two types of projects. One is you can make a clone like Facebook clone, Instagram clone, YouTube clone, Spotify clone. That's the one way. It will improve your implementation, but not your cognitive or idea. Your idea is not new. It is already being implemented. You are just copying it. But your implementation skills will be high, will be improved for sure, because you are making a software. Second one is your creative idea. For example, in my case, I am also into the machine learning and artificial intelligence and natural language processing. So using that knowledge, that domain knowledge, what I did is I gathered all of the holy books from my home, like Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Sai Charitra, Datta Puran, and there are Sri Vallabh Charitra, and all those holy books which I had. I took those PDFs, I processed a text from them, and I trained a model on that. That whenever I am having a query, a religious query or a personal life related query, I can fire the query to that model, and that model will suggest me that, okay, in Bhagavad Gita, this is the answer that you can think of. So this is a creative project. So this will enhance your cognitive thinking, your ability. This is tough basically. But the second one I could say is I made an AI which could convert your digital text. You give your digital text and you give your sample handwriting like A to Z in small and capital, 0 to 9. So basically alpha digit data, your handwriting, and it will convert all your digital text in by taking sample from your handwriting. AI will detect your handwriting and write all those digital text into your text, and it will convert a copy of your black and white handwriting. So that was the second one. The another one is AI search engine, which there is a basically Google is a search engine. Correspondingly, there is a $1 million startup work named Perplexity in the US. But without raising any money, I made it for myself with $0. That was again a copy paste kind of thing, but idea was totally my creative. My fundamental way was of building that software and working of software is independent without raising any single dollar or rupees. I made that. So that are the kind of creative projects. So there are two projects, clones and the creative ones. There are also the third one, which I mean the creative extension of existing project. So for example, you have basically what I can say is uh, you have some software like WhatsApp, but you are unable to see how you can select a song and upload into the story. That's only available in Instagram and Facebook, but not available in WhatsApp. You are only about to upload a video or photo in the status, so we are not allowed to select a song. So I would design a system, or I would design a plugin which helps you to do that in WhatsApp. So that's the creative extension of existing projects. So there are three types of project which I would believe that would help you for your implementation skills. Yep.
After all the process is done and your software is being delivered to the client, now how your company improve the customer satisfaction?
We do monitoring from ourselves. For example, uh, working of a software is not the only measurement. I mean, what is the latency that our clients are facing? What is the issue our clients are facing? For example, in one day, we are receiving 10,000 requests. Apart from 10,000 requests, 99,500 requests are successful, but 500 requests are failed. Why they are failed? So this is self improvising that I will we as a team will debug that. Okay, why these are failing? Why this is happening? Before a client reaches out, we do our self monitoring. We will see that why this failure is happening. Okay, we will realize, we will constantly improvise our architecture, we will constantly optimize our application, we constantly improvise our performance and all those. So that's the proactive way. One reactive way is when client reaches out that I want this functionality or this functionality does not work correctly. We will immediately go and do the monitoring that why this XYZ functionality is not working. So there are two ways. One is proactive, one is reactive. Proactive is always helpful for with for maintaining your client relationship and for your future of the company. But yeah, sometimes you need to go with reactive way when you are unable to find the bug, but client reaches out that this is the wrong thing which is going on, then you need to support that.
Thank you, sir. Now further 23DC092 will Prisa Patel will ask further questions.
Okay, so now the next question is like, how do you foster software engineering in your company?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat?
How do you foster software engineering in your company?
May you please elaborate? I mean, too generic.
Like
What?
which? Okay, I'm saying which are the tools, the specific tools you use, and the expertise needed. Moreover, in order to solve a particular problem, how is software engineering helpful to you?
Basically, it's all about, I guess, problem solving skills plus technical skills. So no matter whether a tool is new for you or not. So basically, for example, let me take a recent example. So microservices architecture is going on at lot of multinational companies. With that, event-driven architecture is going on. So rather than you just make a HTTP call, things are internally being done with asynchronous processing, which is called as message queue. So uh, which LinkedIn is having this technology called as Kafka, which is a message queue. You guys may have heard of. So this is one tool which I am giving as an example. So for example, if we have to connect, if two people or two professional people have to connect over a Zoom or over a call, they need to synchronously connect over the call. But what if the issue is not such major or talk is not that much critical? Then I may just drop a message in a WhatsApp. Whenever opponent person will get free, then he or she will be replying to me. Again, I will reply to them. Again, when they will be available, they will reply to me. This is not critical talk, and we are doing in the asynchronous way. So WhatsApp is an asynchronous way of doing communication. Call and Zoom and Google Meet are synchronous way of doing communication, like we are doing as of now. So the difference is this technology called as Kafka has enabled asynchronous processing. Not only Kafka, there are a lot of other message queues. The message queue is a technology which enabled a lot of companies to evolve over from the synchronous to asynchronous design. So the entire architecture is getting changed. So this is how we can get used to this tool is only to learn them. I mean, to learn them, to learn the fundamentals, that how not not to learn any technology, but to learn the concept behind the technology. For example, if I say, I take an example of for Java multi-threading, then I would not learn Java multi-threading threading first. I would learn first the multi-threading, OS level multi-threading, how it is going on. That's a core concept. So if you want to learn any tool, any internal tool in your company, first learn the basic concept behind it. If I have to learn, for example, MongoDB or Oracle SQL, I would not learn MongoDB or Oracle SQL. I will first learn how database management system works like. I would learn how internally select query works, how internally update and insert query works. Not too much in depth, but on higher level, I should be knowing that what are the asset principal or what are the properties in the database and how that internally works. So what are the indexes, what are the partitions, how I will fire a query in that in such a way that it will help me, what are the joins. So this is a core concept. So I would learn core concept first, then on the top of them, for example, I have learned basics of DBMS and basics of multi-threading. Then I will learn what is multi-threading in JVM, what is multi-threading in Java, how that is supported. So that is only how I will be using it. The abstract level, language is the abstract level, technology is the abstract level over the concept. So I would learn first the concept, then I would learn the technology, and then I will learn that how I will integrate this technology with my current project. And the fourth and the final step would be that, okay, now I have integrated this, but how much benefit I am getting? So again, I am coming back to the numbers. How much percent of improvement I am getting? How much latency I am reducing? How much cost I am saving? What is its overall impact? Is it memory performance is better or not? Is the user experience is better or not? So it's all depends, starting from the core fundamental to the learning tools and technology integration with our existing product, and then at the last is monitoring. So these are the four phases in which I would learn tools and I would pursue at my day-to-day career. But yeah, one side note, I would like to add that no matter which and what tools are being used by company, but always I personally, in Saturday Sunday, I try to do the problem solving, and I try to learn a new technology. So for example, I thought that I feel in last couple of weeks that I am getting weak in database, DBMS systems, Oracle SQL syntax. So what I did is I learned, I gone to the lead code and I solved 50 problems on the database queries, and that helped me a lot. That now I am having a big exposure. Syntax wise, I am very clear that how to fire a query in the SQL database and whatnot, so that it in day-to-day life it makes easy in development, in monitoring, in debugging. So that was not only about database. For any tool, for example, you are learning Jenkins, you are learning Java, you are learning JavaScript, or any other technology you are learning. uh, Upskilling is the only skill that will help you to get improved in your professional career. At the end, we want to get improved, right? From SD1 we want to go to SD2, senior, tech lead, and whatnot. So that will help us. I hope that
Okay.
answers the question.
Yes. Now, what
I'm sorry, but the voice is breaking. Is it for the me only or for all?
Yes, it's for everyone. Meanwhile, maybe she will join again.
Maybe if anyone else can ask the question on behalf of.
are the different audible?
Yes.
Now, yes.
Okay. So, what are the different roles and divisions that are performed in your team?
Yeah, so basically SD1, which I am currently, is entry level. I mean, SD1 is better than an intern. So software development engineer 1, then followed by software development engineer 2, then that is senior software development engineer, then it comes lead software development engineer. So usually, so SD1, SD2, and senior, all folks are doing development only. They will work and they will code and they will deploy and all those things will be done. Senior software engineer will have some more exposure, some more domain knowledge, some more experience, and some more better way of how to do the code. And uh, one practice that we follow, that before coding anything and before completing any feature, uh, we require one senior approval and one lead approval. So up on the above of senior, there will be a lead. There will be a manager in the team. Manager will manage all of us. We have to report to the manager. They will give us feedback that what's wrong and what's right is going on, how to improvise, and what you are doing good, what you are doing bad, and all this. So manager and lead are at the same level. On the above, there will be a prince. So is basically the one person who will decide the low level design. For example, in database, you need to add one column. That lead will decide what will be the column name, what will lead constraints. Lead will decide that at which component you have to do what change. So you have heard this term like low level design, right? LLD, low level design. So lead will do that. Manager will the manager will basically manage the people. So basically they will decide that, okay, this is the work, who whether this will be done by SD1, 2 or not. They will allocate. They will do a lot of meeting. They will bifurcate a lot of stuff for us. They will provide us a feedback. They will provide us a one-on-one feedback that what we need to improve and on what not. And they also know domain-wise. They know a lot of things. So they know almost everything about people management and product. They will also take a decision whether to take this feature first or this feature first, which one is more critical. There is one person from the product who will talk with the clients, will talk with the partners. Then one person called technical program manager, who will decide that, okay, this is a deadline, now we have to finish the work there. If we have some dependency to other teams, for example, I am working on the team 1, someone is working on the team 2, but we require the help from the team 2, then that TPM will go and resolve the dependencies and do the work. So all the time management and all the streamlining stuff will be done by TPM. So this is overall normal team architecture. And above team, there is this is for team, and above team there is a director and principal software engineer. So both are at the same level, but principal will be doing high level architecture, high level design. Director will be managing the multiple teams. So, for example, I am a director, and I for my under my hood there will be a 3 to 4 teams and whatnot. So, majorly, director is solving a much more abstract and bigger problem than a manager. Again, principal software engineer is solving a much more bigger and abstract problem than a lead software engineer. And on the above, there is a vice president, president, and whatnot, up to CEO, right? So this is a normal hierarchy which tech giants are working on. In some companies, apart from principal, you will heard the word called as staff engineer. In some companies, apart from lead, you will hear a word called senior software engineer, but it differs company to company. But this is normally a hierarchy in the companies.
Okay. Then what are the advertising techniques or marketing techniques will you use for your product if you design a product?
Um, Tough question, I guess, but I believe brand
Imagine
plays a much more,
hypothetical.
yeah.
So,
I believe plays a much more role than actual quality. So first, I mean, quality itself makes a brand, but I would try to give the best user experience and that would be my first marketing. That is the I would say healthy marketing, I would say, not the synthetic marketing. So my users will use my product, and they will network their peers, their colleagues and friends and community, and then they say that, okay, this is the product which I am using, you can also use that. So that's the I would say the healthy marketing that will do automatically. That would I prefer on my own. The second one is whenever we resolve any pain point. For example, Google Map is resolving a pain point from the user, that you don't need to stop your car and ask anyone where you ought to go, right or left or straight or back. Google Map has resolved a pain point called as getting a direction, getting a destination. Then this is a healthy marketing, that if Google Map is new and I am using, then I will suggest my friend to use Google Map. Then Google Map come out with a feature called as traffic. So if traffic is there, then they will show red. If traffic is light, they will show orange. If there is no traffic, it will the blue. So this feature is new, which resolves a consumer or customer pain point. Then I will go ahead and market this feature, that, okay, let's see, this is a new feature in the Google Map, or this is a new feature in the Google Pay. This is a new feature at so and so company. So if something, first one is healthy marketing, second one is marketing from our side, that, okay, this is the new feature we will give to the beta users for the beta experience. And then And at the third place, I will do some pre-marketing, that I have not launched the feature yet, but we are thinking so and so thing to have this feature. For example, uh, it is already there, but assume a scenario where we are doing an online payment and we are not getting uh, transaction history, for example, or it. I am not that much confident about which are the different ones, but for example, if I am spending a daily money on the snacks and tea, coffee, then on the month I want a report on my monthly expenses, but that is not yet revealed by Google Pay or Phone Pay or Apple Pay or any other payment company. Then what if I am owning a payment company? Then what I will say, that soon we are releasing this feature called as you will get your monthly summary of expenses, you will get your daily summary of expenses, you will get your yearly summary of expenses. That is one kind of pre-marketing that we have not done that yet, but we are thinking into that direction, or we will be soon releasing this feature. That is the third type of marketing which I would say. And uh, in this world of social media, I would, for my product, I would pick the social media influencer, the small or some big influencer, and I will give them a uh, beta access to my product, and then they will use and they will promote on their reels or their basically their audience and whatnot. So that's the kind of strategy which I would use if I am a product owner.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. With this, I would like to conclude our questionnaire session.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.